Everybody. Happy Monday, I think it's Monday. Not sure why my Instagram is not cooperating with me, so whoever is there on YouTube, my apologies. Oh, here we go. Hi, Instagram universe. Let's put this back up. Oops. Well, this is a little bit of a scene here. I think that'll work. And maybe you can see my head. You can almost see my head on Instagram. I guess that's all right too. Ooh, how about that? Okay, I think that'll work. Hi everyone. Sorry it's taking me a moment to get organized. Tom, holy smokes, Tom is here. That's a miracle. Let's start in a seat, shall we? I'm planning today on doing, well, that's kind of weird, isn't it? But I'm planning today to do the class I usually teach, which is a lot of hamstring stuff, back body work, with a focus on alignment and keeping especially the lumbar spine safe. We'll do some twists and some hip opening stuff as always. But I thought we might start in a seat. With the legs crossed. I'm going to maybe start with your left leg in front of the right. If you like half lotus, you can find a half lotus. But we'll switch out these legs, this seated position in a few. But let's just start here for the moment. We'll let the hands rest on the knees. Maybe bringing the backs of the hands to the legs so the palms are open, kind of Shavasana style. And let's just close down the eyes here and give ourselves a few moments to arrive on the mat. Get out the wiggles, find a comfortable space, and just draw the attention inward. Of course, the whole world is going on around us, but just for this moment, or these moments, see if you can bring the attention to the breath. The entry of the air into the nose, down through the windpipe. Feel the chest expand on the inhales. Feel everything hug down and in on the exhales. One more breath where you are. Inhaling to feel that opening. Exhaling to hug in, sink down. Let's go ahead and blink open the eyes. And on an inhale, we're going to lift the arms up and overhead. Interlace the fingers, roll them to face up. See if you can press the palms up and drag the shoulders down. Maybe the gaze is up. On an exhale, we'll carefully release the fingertips, and we're going to walk the hands out in front of the mat. You'll feel whichever foot is in front or on top, that hip is going to speak to you a little bit. Maybe this is enough, right? See if you can tent the fingertips and hug the belly away from the front of the mat, right? Even as you stretch and feel that nice opening up that left hip. So we'll come back up to center. We'll switch out the cross of the legs. And again, you might feel that one side of the body is a lot tighter or weirder than the other. So let's inhale the arms up and overhead. Interlace the fingers, press the palms away, shrug the shoulders down. We'll release and walk the fingertips out. So I'm a lot tighter at the moment on this on this side. So I'm not going to reach the fingertips out as far, but I'm still going to keep hugging the ribs away from the front of the mat, even as I stretch forward. On an inhale, we'll come back up. We'll uncross the legs, work your way to tabletop pose. And maybe stretch out the legs a little bit, sending the one foot back, downing the ball of the foot, and driving through the heels, kind of stretch out the calf. Other side, you can down the ball of the foot, press through the heel, and we'll come back to tabletop pose. So we're waking up the spine with some cat-cow movements here. On the inhale, drop the belly, lift the sternum. On the exhales, press up into that nice Halloween cat shape. Inhaling, draw the sternum forward. Exhaling, pressing up, driving the palms of the hands down. Keep moving on your breath rhythm here. Might be slow. One more set, and we'll meet in that neutral tabletop. And we're going to pour weight into the right palm here and inhale the left arm high. Maybe the shoulders are ready to stack. Let's hug the belly away from, let's hug the belly in as we exhale. Thread the needle. You'll release the left temple and the left shoulder down. Maybe you walk the right fingertips out and roll the right shoulder away. Right? Again, we're still tracking the ribs back. On an exhale, plant that right hand. Inhale the left arm high, and we'll switch it out here. Plant the left arm, right hand reaches up. Hug the belly in as you thread the needle. Release that right temple, right shoulder down. Maybe that's enough, right? Maybe reaching the left fingertips forward and dragging the left shoulder back. Maybe you could trap the ribs on the right side away from the leg. On an exhale, plant the left palm. Inhale the right arm high. Exhale down. Inhale through your cow pose. We're headed to downward facing dog, so we'll press it up and back into your downward facing dog. Let's see if I can get this camera organized properly. Maybe that's a little better. We'll see. All right. So from downward facing dog, we'll inhale, look forward. Exhale, squat it back. Hug the belly. Inhale, step to the front of your mat, finding a halfway lift. Neutralize the spine here. Right? We're trying to drag the sternum forward and keep the low back flat here by curling the pubic bone a little bit forward. Let's exhale and fold. Find a ragdoll, kind of an easy fold here. All right, allow the torso and the back of the neck to be super heavy here. No effort at all in the upper body. It's just hanging loose. But let's charge the legs. Right, so lift the toes, drive the big toe knuckle into the mat, and then fan the toes out from that anchor point. Lift the kneecap so the quads are hard, and drive the sits bones up and away from each other in the back body. Let's take one more inhale here. One more exhale to keep the legs strong. We'll release the bind. Inhale, rise up. Strong legs, feet are driving here. Exhale, fold forward. Same thing, strong legs. Halfway lift, neutral spine, shoulders hug back. Exhale, plant the hands, step back to your high plank. From here, we'll come through a vinyasa. That might mean lowering the knees, exhaling into a little shallow push-up, inhaling, upward facing, exhaling up and back, downward facing dog. From here, turn the left toes, step the right to the top of the mat. You can keep the back heel down, or you can lift it up for high crescent lunge if you don't love warrior one. Exhale, plant the hands. We'll step back. You can switch out the legs, right? Bringing that left foot forward. On an inhale, rise up, warrior one or high crescent. Exhale, plant the hands, Step back to high plank, and there's this vinyasa, that vinyasa if you want it. That's exhale, push up. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, up and back, downward facing dog. So pedal out the heels here. And if the wrists don't love downward facing dog, come down to the tabletop. Cat pose is a great alternative to down dog. You can drive the wrists or the pinkies away from one another on the mat. That'll load the shoulders and bring some ease to the wrists. On an inhale, look forward. On an exhale, squatted dog, belly is hugging away from the legs. Inhale, step it up to the top of the mat, half lift. Exhale and fold. This time, let's bend the knees and sweep the arms up and overhead. Right, pinkies hug in, shoulders hug down. I like kind of an upright chair, shoulders are over the hips. Feet are driving here. One more inhale, open the chest. Let's exhale and fold. Halfway lift, shoulders hug back. Exhale, plant the hands. Here's a vinyasa. That's push up. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Turn the left toes. Step the right toward the top of the mat. Inhale, warrior one. This is just a sun B variation for those of you who are wondering. On an exhale, step back. You can have a full vinyasa here or just switch out the legs. You'll turn the right toes, step the left. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, release it down. And find your way back to downward facing dog. Make sure that you're really breathing here. Every breath is linked to a movement. Every breath is intentional. Right? On an inhale, look forward. On an exhale, squatted dog. Inhale, step, or maybe you're ready to spring to the top of the mat. Exhale and fold. Bend the knees, sweep the arms up, finding that chair pose. Now in chair, we're gonna just play around with the weight in the feet. We're gonna do some work in figure 4 a little later in practice. So just kind of play around with shifting the weight in the feet. We're not going to one-legged chair just yet, but just be conscious. That's where we're headed. Exhale, let's fold. Hello, quads. Halfway lift, shoulders shrug back, flat spine. Exhale. Here's your vinyasa. We're going to meet in downward facing dog. And then we're going to come through about a dozen standing postures, starting with the left leg back and the right leg forward. So keep that left leg planted and inhale the right heel high to the sky. Keep the toes flexed toward the face. Maybe you can even see them back there underneath the belly. On an exhale, drag the heel toward the seat and open up that knee. Right, there are a couple of options here. You can keep the shoulders square, really weight the right palm. Or you can drop into the left forearm and sort of exaggerate this opening of the shoulders, almost stacking. Right? On an inhale, let's re-extend, come back to the hands. Exhale, knee to nose, and we'll work the foot between the hands. From here, lower the back heel, we'll inhale, rise up, warrior one. So warrior one is a hips forward posture, right? So we're driving the left hip point toward the front of the room and hugging the left hip crease back. That's your right hip crease back. Sorry about that. The pinkies hug in, the shoulders are away from the ears. Strong back leg and the hips, the inner thighs are scissoring. Let's take one more inhale. On the exhale, warrior two. We'll open out. Maybe you can widen your stance a little bit. Shoulders are right over the hips. The front knee, that's your right knee, is pressing out and the right glute is carving down. If you want more work, you can think about dragging the feet together as if they were going to crumple the mat underneath you. Oh, that changes things a lot. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, reverse. In reverse warrior, I like to really check in with the back leg, right? Drive the heel, the whole pinky toe side of the foot is driving. The whole back hip is hugging up into its socket. One more inhale here. Exhale, extended side angle. So elbow to knee, maybe you find the mat. Back arm might sweep to 12 o'clock or come all the way to the front of the room. Right, we're pressing the front knee away and carving that front hip down. Back heel is still driving. On an exhale, gaze down. On an inhale, reverse. Strong back leg. Can you feel the work in the back hip? On an exhale, let's cartwheel the hands to frame the front foot. You might lift the back heel. We're going to twist our side angle pose. So plant the left hand. Right hand might find the low back to make sure that it's stable. Maybe you extend the fingertips up for the full twist. The ribs are tracking away from the leg, and the back foot is still strong. Right, one more inhale. On an exhale, gaze down. And on an inhale, we're going to rise up, straighten both legs, and head to triangle pose. The right leg is forward, yeah? So we're reaching way out over the front leg. Find the shin. Left fingertips press up. Right? There should be a little bend or a big bend in that front knee. I don't want to feel any tightness or tweakiness in the back of the knee. Whole left rib cage is opening up through those top fingertips. On an exhale, gaze down. On an inhale, reverse. Strong legs, huge line of energy all the way through the right side. Exhale the hands to the hips. We're going to inhale, press the left fingertips out. We're headed to revolved triangle. Back hand might find the low back. And we're going to find the front shin under the left hand. Maybe you can find the mat, but the low back is stable. Yeah, let's press the fingertips high. This is a pretty deep twist for early in practice, so don't be a hero. Listen to the body. On an exhale, release it down. On an inhale, rise up and open. Let's come to five-pointed star. Toes are in. Heels are out. Let's exhale, fold. Super strong feet here. Right, the big toe mounds are driving. The heels might even feel a little light. Halfway lift. Let's exhale and fold. So, really strong feet. The sits bones need to drive up and away. And the stretch in the hamstring should be right in the belly of the hamstring, not behind the knees, not right at the insertion points of the sits bones. Keep breathing. On an inhale, let's halfway lift. Check in with the quads. Are they strong? As you exhale, let's bring the hands to the hips and then inhale, rise. We'll pivot to face that front leg, the left leg. On an inhale, lift up. On an exhale, fold forward. I think I've got us backwards here. Really, we should have our left leg back and the right leg forward. Yep, that's correct. So left leg back, right leg forward. We're headed to pyramid pose. So let's lift the chest and reach out, then fold. I like to keep my hands at the low back to make sure that I've got a little curl in the pubic bone forward so that I know that my lumbar spine is supported by the front core muscles. Inner thighs are scissoring. No tension behind the back of the front knee. On an inhale, we'll rise all the way up, and we'll come right up to standing. We're going to do some balancing postures on the left leg, starting on the left leg. So let's find a hand to big toe pose. So standing knee raise. You might bring that right leg up. The left quad is strong. Right? And we're trying to compress the front of the thigh all the way to the ribs here, even as the ribs hug back. We'll open out. Again, emphasizing compression here. The knee is tracking toward the armpit. If you can grab the big toe, you can, and find some extension if that feels okay. But let's come back through center. Drive the heel forward and plug the femur back. Maybe hold the hamstring up here for 3, for 2, for 1. Release. Shake that left leg out. And we're going to do tree pose again on that left leg. So strong ball of the foot, really driving. And we're going to find tree pose. The hip is opening out, but plugging firmly in toward the midline of the back body. I like to keep my palms up and my elbows a little bit bent to sort of encourage the shoulders, the shoulder blades to hug down and in, sort of shoring up the spine as it holds my torso up. On an inhale, find center. On an exhale, grab the knee to the chest. Last hold for the moment. Extend, drive out and plug in for 3 and 2 and 1. Oof, release, give that left leg a shake. We'll bend the knees, sweep the arms up, maybe interlace the fingers, drive them away, hug the shoulders down. I like to give my top of my left foot a little massage here. On an exhale, let's fold forward. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, you can find your way back to downward facing dog however you like, right? You can come through a vinyasa, you can find crow pose, you can add in a handstand or whatever you feel like, but I am going right back to down dog. Go ahead and pedal it out. My left leg is, my one leg is pretty tired now. That's all right. Let's ground down this time through the right leg and inhale that left foot high. Stack the hips, drag the heel in toward the seat. Remember, there's 2 options here. You can really weight the left palm and keep the shoulders square, or drop the right forearm and open up even more. On an inhale, we'll re-extend, find your way to your hands. Exhale, knee to nose. Plant the foot between the hands. Back heel dials down if you like, and inhale up, warrior 1. So remember, warrior 1 is a hips forward pose. We're driving the back hip forward and hugging the front hip crease back. Right, the eyes of the hips, those hip points should be semi level. Right, one more inhale here. And on the exhale, we'll open out, warrior 2. So really pressing the front leg, that left leg open, right? And the right heel now is driving back and down. Really trying to open out, but carve the front hip especially down and in. On an inhale, reach forward. On an exhale, reverse that warrior, check in with the back leg. Drive the back hip, or drag the back heel, and lift up through the back hip. Torso still picking up out of the hips. On an exhale, elbow to knee, maybe you find the mat, extended side angle. Fingertips might be at 12 o'clock, or all the way to the front of the room. Right, we're pressing the front knee out, really driving through the back heel and pinky toe side of the foot. One more inhale. Exhale, gaze down. Inhale, reverse. Strong legs. Then we'll cartwheel the hands. Maybe the back heel lifts. We're going to revolve. Right? So the right hand finds the mat. The left arm might stop at the low back. Right? To make sure that that lumbar spine is level. Maybe you find the full twist. Whatever you've chosen, right, make sure you're still breathing and see if you can track the ribs away from the compression of the front leg. On an exhale, we'll release it down. And on an inhale, straighten both legs. We're headed to triangle pose with the left leg forward. Reach the left fingertips way out past the front leg. Find the front shin. Drive the right fingertips high. Right, crown of the head is in line with the hips. Maybe gaze up. If that's tough on the balance, you can gaze down. Right, it might be a good reason to check in and make sure the front foot is driving and grounded. Exhale, gaze down. Inhale, reverse. Hands to the hips. Maybe step the back foot up and out. We're going to revolve our triangle. So right fingertips reach way out. Left hand finds the low back to make sure it's flat. Then we're going to find the front shin. Maybe that's enough. Maybe you extend the fingertips all the way up. Keep the belly hugging up and away from the earth. Maybe the gaze turns up. Maybe it's better for the balance to keep the gaze down. One more inhale here. Exhale, release. We'll inhale, stand all the way up and open, 5-pointed star, toes in, heels out. Let's fold. Halfway lift, hug the belly and ribs up. Toes are slightly in, heels are slightly out. Let's fold. Maybe you find the forearms here. See if you can let go of the back of the neck. And keep the sits bones here driving up and away in the back body. For years, I mistook tugging the end points of my hamstrings out as stretching. So I hope that's not what you're doing as well, right? Don't be a hero here. On an inhale, halfway lift. On an exhale, hands to the hips. On the inhale, we'll rise all the way up. And we're going to pivot to face the right. No, let's pivot to face the left leg. The right foot is going to be behind you. That's 100% correct. The right foot should be behind you. We're going to pyramid pose. Inhale, lift up. Exhale. Sternum reaches way out. Maybe you leave the hands at the back of the at the low back. Little bend in the front knee. The hips are scissoring. Ribs want to walk away from the front thigh. Drive the big toe mound into the mat. On an inhale, we'll rise all the way up to standing. Come to the top of the mat, and we've got a couple of balancing poses now on the right leg. So, drive the big toe mound in. Maybe spread the toes wide. Strong quad on that standing leg, and let's find an inhale to standing knee raise. We're emphasizing compression here. So maybe bring the knee up and out toward the armpit. You can get a hold of that big toe. There is an extended variation of this, but it's early in class. You don't have to set any world records here. On an inhale, let's come back through center. Maybe hang on to the hamstring, drive the heel out, plug the femur in. For 3, for 2, for 1, release. Give that right leg a shake. And then once more, balance. We'll go to tree pose, right? This version is perfect, right? If you're not feeling like you want to balance on one leg, keep those toes grounded. We're just trying to open up the hip and plug it in. Right? Maybe your sole of foot finds the shin or the inner thigh. Let's go ahead and lift those arms up and overhead. Right? Everything's opening out and plugging down and in. One more inhale, bring the arms to center. Exhale the knee to the chest. There's one last hold here. Extend the heel, plug the femur back for 3, for 2, for 1, release. Whew. Shake it out. Bend the knees. Sweep the arms up, interlace the fingers, press them away and drag the shoulders down. Maybe give the top of the right foot a little massage. Holding here for one more inhale. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift, shoulders back. Flatten out the lumbar spine and vinyasa. We're going to meet in downward facing dog. I'm going to check what's going on here. Yep, that's still working. That appears to be working. Yay. So, are you in downward facing dog? Maybe. From here, let's go ahead and walk the feet up toward the top of the mat. And we're going to drop down into Malasana squat. So, if it feels good to roll up your mat and prop up your heels, feel free. We're going to be here a moment, so, don't force yourself to hang around in some uncomfortable position. So we're going to try and press the elbows against the knees. Kind of give yourself a little encouragement to allow the hips to open. Right? And then we're going to take on the left side first, we're going to press the back of the left shoulder into the whole inner seam of the thigh. Fingertips will press out. Right arm is going to sweep up. Right? Now there's a bind here. You can turn the thumb down and then internally rotate the shoulder, and the whole armpit is going to swallow up the knee. Right? And that is going to give you a nice, tight circle there around the knee, and you can maybe grab the fingertips or the wrist on that other side. So, let's go ahead and switch it out. We'll release that bind carefully, and then other side, we're going to take the right shoulder, right, press it into the inseam of that inner thigh. You're going to use the shoulder to open out that hip, plant the fingertips, and then reach up through the left fingertips. Yeah, if you want that bind, the thumb faces down, the whole armpit is going to swallow that knee with internal rotation. Back of the hand looks for the low back, and then the other hand might find the fingertips to complete the bind. Anywho, let's go ahead and release that. You might come back to this pose a little bit later. Right, from here, let's carefully, slowly lift the hips up high. We're going to come into a wide angle forward fold. You've been here before, but we're going to try a little twist here. So toes in, heels out. Right hand is going to plant directly below the face. Press that arm away. And then inhale the left fingertips high. Even in this twist, you can keep the knees bent, right? You don't have to tax the hamstrings. See if you can keep the low back flat. On an exhale, we'll release and switch it out. The left hand plants. The right hand might find the low back. Maybe you come all the way through that bigger twist. Maybe the gaze turns up. On an exhale, release. On an inhale, bring the hands to the hips. We'll exhale here. On an inhale, rise all the way up. Step the feet to the top of the mat. And inhale. We'll do a standing sun salutation here. Exhale and fold. We're just meeting in downward facing dog. So get there how you like. Inhale through that back bend. Exhale up and back. Downward facing dog. So we're going to come through those standing postures with a little more dynamic movement. 1.5 breaths per posture, and we'll probably throw in a little more hip opening balance work if that suits you. And if any of those advanced postures feel weird in the body, don't worry about them. Choose something that feels better for you. See if you can let go of ambition and just embrace your sense of play here. All right, so we're gonna start with the left foot grounded and inhale the right heel high to the sky. So we can drop the left forearm and bring the heel to the seat if you'd like. If you do that, you might want to walk that right hand a little closer. One more inhale here. On an exhale, re-extend. Squeeze it in, knee to nose. Plant the foot between the hands. We'll lower the back heel. Inhale, rise up, warrior one. Exhale, open, warrior two. On an inhale, reach it forward. On an exhale, reverse, super strong back leg. Exhale, extended side angle. Back arm sweeps up and over. On an exhale, we'll gaze down. On an inhale, reverse. We're headed to simple twist. Cartwheel the hands, left hand plants, right arm lifts. Hug the belly away from the legs. We'll take one more breath here. Take the inhale. On the exhale, release it down. On an inhale, rise up, straighten both legs, headed to triangle pose. Reach the right fingertips way out. And then find the front shin, left fingertips sweep high. On an exhale, gaze down. On an inhale, strong quads, reverse. Exhale the hands to the hips. Find this half pyramid, right? Left fingertips, you're gonna reach way out. And then find the front shin or the mat. Revolve that triangle. Right? Hug the belly away from the legs. On an exhale, release it down. And from here, warrior three. Bend the left leg. Inhale, stand up. Strong quad. Back heel is driving. Back femur is hugging forward. On an exhale, release it all the way down to a forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. So from here, we're going to bend the knees, sweep the arms up. And we're going to come into some balancing poses on the left leg. So you can find figure four here by bringing kind of this one-legged chair. I'm going to cross the right ankle over the knee and then just bend into that pose. Maybe this is enough, right? There's all kinds of balance work you can do here. You can wrap the toes around the outside of the left elbow. You can plant the hands and find some balance work. But, you know, my wrists don't want that right now, so I'm going to just lean in to this deep, deep hip opener on the right side. Yeah, whichever leg is lifted. On an exhale, let's release that leg down carefully. And on an inhale, rise up. Exhale the hands to the hips. Those aren't your hips, that's the sternum. Big difference. All right. One more balancing pose on that left leg. Two-ish, but they're going to be connected. So drive down into that left leg. Inhale the right knee high. Grab the big toe. Maybe you extend and then open out. The knee is still tracking up The quad is aiming for the inner theme of the thigh is aiming for the side of the ribs. On an inhale, come back through center, and we're going right to tree pose here if that suits you. If your hips feel open, maybe you find a half lotus. On an inhale, arms up and overhead. On an exhale, hands through center, and we'll hold, but breathe for 3 and 2 and 1. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, knee to the chest. We'll extend. Last hold on this side. Drive the heel, plug the femur. 3, 2, 1. Slow motion. Let it go. Woo. Shake that left leg out. We'll bend the knees. Sweep the arms up. Give the top of that foot a good mash. Woo. And let's fold forward on the exhale. Halfway lift, shoulders back. Let's plant the hands for that vinyasa. We're going to meet in down dog. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. And from here, the right foot is going to stay planted. The left heel comes up high. You can stack the hips, drag the heel in toward the seat. If you want that funky forearm stand, drop the right forearm and walk the left hand back to be about even with your elbow. On an inhale, re-extend. Find your hands and exhale, knee to nose. We're headed to warrior 1. Drop that front foot and inhale, rise up. Exhale, open warrior 2. Big open hips, plug it in. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, reverse. Extended side angle here. Drive the back foot as you plant the left fingers. Sweep the back arm up and over. Exhale, gaze down. Inhale, reverse, strong feet here. Cartwheel the hands. Right hand plants. Left hand reaches up and over. That's your simple twist, revolved side angle. We'll hold this one more breath. And on the exhale, release. Inhale, straighten both legs, maybe shorten up the stance. Headed to triangle pose, out over the left leg. So reach the left fingertips out. Find the shin. Drive the back fingertips high. Exhale, gaze down. Inhale, reverse. 2 strong legs here. Hands to the hips. Back foot steps up and out. Let's find that half pyramid. The right fingertips are reaching way out. Low back is stable. Find the shin or the mat. Revolve your triangle. Press the back fingertips up. Hug the pubic bone forward to keep the low back stable. On an exhale, we'll release and unwind. Bend the front knee. We're headed to warrior 3. So drive the front foot. The right leg lifts, but that right hip point wants to square downward. Back heel drives back, femur plugs in. On an exhale, let's release it down. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale and fold. We'll inhale, rise all the way up, and we'll drop it down into your chair pose. This time we're going to weight the right leg. Yeah. And find that one-legged chair, figure 4, on this side. Yeah, so flexing these toes on the left leg will kind of help keep that knee safe. Right? And maybe there's lots of balancing postures you can try here, but I haven't really cued or warmed my own body up for that. So if that's in your practice, do it. If not, maybe just breathe space across that left hip. Keep breathing. One more inhale. One more exhale. we'll release, carefully let that leg go, fold forward. We'll inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Couple of bouncing poses. Last set of bouncing poses on this leg. So strong right leg, let's bring the left knee in. Right, maybe grab the big toe and extend out. Okay, but we're really trying to drive the femur into its socket, even as the top heel drives out. On an inhale, come back through center. Remember, we're headed to a tree pose or lotus, right? Bring it in. Hip is open, but the hip is also plugging in the back body. Let's bring the hands to heart center. And hold here, ground down through all four corners of the foot. On an inhale, up and over. Exhale, knee to the chest. We'll extend and hold for 3 and 2 and 1. Release. Shake it out. Bend the knees. Sweep the arms up. Maybe give the top of that right foot a good mush. One more inhale. Let's exhale and fold. Halfway lift. Flatten the low back here. On an exhale, let's drop it down into Malasana squat. I promised a little more attention to hip openers. So we're back, right? If you want those bound Malasana sort of thingamabobbers, feel free. If the hips feel pretty open, you could also try to find a little bit of firefly. So from Malasana, we can lift the bum and bend the arms, basically to look kind of like push-up arms. Now we're going to just bring the backs of the thighs to the triceps. Maybe you can lift one set of toes at a time. Maybe hug the belly up, right? The ribs have to hug in. Maybe you can extend both heels out. Doesn't matter, wherever you are. Let's come back to center, right? And breathe in to that open feeling in the hips, right? The groin is opening, but the back body is coming in toward the midline, right? One more exhale here. On an inhale, let's lift the hips high, walk the toes back in, and from here, we're just gonna park it. Double check my time here. Hope everyone enjoyed the close-up of mustache sweat that I think I just gave any internet viewers. So gross, and you're welcome. So from here, extend the heels out forward. We're gonna drive the balls of the feet away, right? And walk the femurs back, right? You hear me say that anytime we do anything, right? The feet drive and the femur plugs in, right? You're drawing energy out of the earth and you're plugging it right into socket. That's how I think of it, right? On an inhale, lift up. On an exhale, reach the sternum out toward the pressure of the balls of the feet. The sternum and the balls of the feet are going the same direction. The femurs, the quads, the ribs are going back. Sternum reaches, ribs and quads hug back. Maybe the knees are bent. Shoulders are easy here. On an exhale, let's release. If you'd like, there's always a seated vinyasa that you can do between seated postures. You can cross the legs, plant the hands, lift the seat off the mat, walk the toes or float the toes back. You can press into that push-up and back bend, and downward facing dog, and then come back through to a seat. From here, we're going to keep the left leg straight and find a hip opener on the right side. So we're going to cradle the right leg here. So sole of the right foot finds the left inside of the elbow. Knee finds the right inner elbow. Maybe this is enough. Right? See if you can keep that planted foot strong. Right? There are lots of options here. Right? You could maybe backpack. See if you can bring the back of the shoulder to the inside of the knee, right? And there's compass pose here, all kinds of wacky stuff that you can do, right? But mostly, maybe you're just thinking about opening up the right hip and finding some compression as the inner thigh looks for the back of the shoulder. Keep the belly hugging back. The ribs still want to track back here. Let's go ahead and switch out the legs. So release that right leg long. Bring the left leg in. So again, sole of the left foot finds the inner elbow. Then the other elbow cradles the knee. Maybe this is it. Right, my right hip tends to be a lot tighter than the left. So this leg might not like the backpack, right? We're sending the back of the shoulder to meet the inside of the thigh, right? Maybe that's enough. Maybe you play around with extending out. Right? But really, the idea here is to keep the inner thigh tracking toward the side of the ribs. Let's take one more. Inhale and exhale. We'll release. Send that leg back out long. Whew. Okay, so this time left leg is straight. We're basically going to come into tree pose here, Janu Shirsasana. So, right leg is finding the inner thigh. And we're going to come into a side bend from here. So, left hand finds the inner thigh. Right arm is going to sweep up and over. I'd like to do a little heart opener here. So instead of shoving my ear toward the knee, I'm just opening my sternum up and away. Right, the top thumb tracks behind me, and the grounded leg, the straight leg is still strong here. Right, the front core is hugging in so that my torso is holding itself up through the power of the front core. On an inhale, come up. We'll just switch out the legs, extend the right leg long. Left foot comes into tree pose. Right hand finds the inside of the knee. We'll sweep the back arm up and over. Right, I like to come down onto my forearm here. Open up the sternum toward the sky. Left thumb might reach up and back. Strong front leg still, yeah. On an exhale, we'll release. Extend that leg out long, and we'll come one vertebrae at a time all the way down to the backs. So, from here, we've got about 5 minutes left in class. You can do whatever you like, as always, right? But if you're on your back, I welcome you to extend right into Shavasana. Yeah, if you absolutely have to have those spinal twists at the end of your class, do that, right? But if you're ready, maybe you come right into Shavasana, right? Extend the legs out long. Allow the toes to splay out. The palms might be open just as they were at the beginning of the class. The knuckles can find the earth. And see if you can let go of all judgment here and become an observer of your own body. You may observe without judgment any tension that remains behind the feet or the knees and the hips, and allow the earth to carry that weight. You might observe without judging any tension that lingers behind the shoulders or in the forearms. Allow that to melt away. Even the fingertips here curl without effort. You might even feel the energy that we've cultivated together, pooling in the cradle of your palms, as if you were holding two stars with no effort at all. The eyes are heavy in their sockets. The tongue falls away from the roof of the mouth. Shavasana, the absence of effort. Know that the energy that we've cultivated will come with you for whatever it is that you or someone else might need in the course of your day. Maybe that's an act of care, an act of kindness, an act of resistance. If you have the luxury of time, I hope you'll stay a little longer in this place of rest. You deserve it. You're perfect. I bring my hands to my heart center, my thumbs to my third eye, and thank y'all so much for sharing this hour with me. Thanks, y'all. Thanks, everyone. I think I did most of the stuff on one leg and then the other, which is not always my strong suit. So you're welcome, and thank you very much for joining me. It's wonderful to practice with you, even in this weird online way, and we'll see you next time. Check the news for good news on the Supreme Court today, and keep fighting for the good stuff. Bye.